Hello everybody, it's Bill's That College Football Guy here with another video. You saw the title. Oh my goodness. Can Hawaii actually be a factor, in deciding who comes in expansion for the Mountain West? You're like, how would Hawaii be? What the hell are you talking about? Okay. We know that Pac-12, Mountain West, neither one of them staying with what they got. They're going to add more members. Not anymore in 2026 because of the financial constraints of, forget the fact of schools coming in, it's the fact of exit fees are going to double and they're going to want help with the fees, and because the lawsuits are going on, neither one of them has the money. So that's all going to be on the back burner until, for the 2027 season. Maybe 2026, after this coming season, we'll start seeing movement again. Now, why I say Hawaii is going to have a factor in this? Well, they say, and distance could be a factor into this because now, could the Mountain West pick anybody they want? Yes. And for those who don't know about what it was before, Hawaii had to pay schools, reimburse schools part of their travel expenses in order to travel to Hawaii for games from the Mountain West. And I think that was done in the Big West. Now, part of their agreement with being a full member is they don't have to do that reimbursement anymore. But they were hoping they didn't want anybody east of the Rockies. Now, you say, well, they would talk to Texas State and they talked to Sam Houston State. Yeah, they did talk to both those schools before Hawaii was a full member. The only school they added after Hawaii became a full member was UTEP. So, and then there's a couple other things I need to in here, like travel, I think, is going to be a little bit of a key to this, especially if you're doing full members. It's like Northern Illinois is a long ways, and it's football only, but they want to keep it down here. So what are we talking about here? Well, if you count travel from Honolulu Airport to El Paso Airport and then the bus ride to 3,345 miles for Hawaii. It's 3,390 miles to Laramie. So it's actually further to Laramie than it is to El Paso, because it's north. So what are we talking about here for distances here? We're talking about for distance, like we talk about San Marcos for Texas State was 3,930 miles. They're out of the books because they're on the Pac-12. So is there anybody else who's in the range? Well, Mexico State's 3,390 miles. They're in range. I mean, could they be? Like, obviously, Sacramento State is. UC Davis to become a full member. They're going to be, they're right in the range here. Are there any other candidates that they go to? Like, we've heard the Montanas, the Dakotas. Well, North Dakota State would be a football only because they don't want to move their basketball, so that wouldn't be a factor in this. A football only, they wouldn't care. Because they didn't have a problem with Northern Illinois being a football only. It was just the Olympic sports and the travel. That was Hawaii's issue. Does Hawaii have a big say in this? No. If they decided to pick a school that was bigger in mileage, yeah, but would the university or the conference have to pay Hawaii a reimbursement in travel expenses to compensate them? That might be happening as part of this. Now, this one I thought was interesting. Like North Dakota State, travel to Fargo by plane, because you're going to do a connecting flight because there's no direct flights to Fargo, 3,967 miles. Football only. Okay. Well, what about, like I said, Sam Houston State, 4,017. They might be a football only because that's a lot of miles, folks. But somebody was bringing up, like, well, what about the Montanas? Fly into Denver, and then you fly from Denver to Missoula or to Bozeman. Bozeman's closer. Montana State. Montana State's 3,888 miles. Missoula, where Montana is 3,947. It's almost as far as North Dakota State. And so then you got Tarleton State, Stevensville, Texas, where you fly Honolulu to Vegas to Fort Worth and then bus it from Fort Worth to Stevensville. That's 3910. It is shorter to go to Tarleton State than it is to go to North Dakota State or Montana. That's nuts. But because of connecting flights and how things are done in travel, that's how far it is. It's actually shorter to go to Tarleton State than it is to go to Texas State. Tarleton's right now 4-0 in FCS. They're doing a great job there. Now, are they primarily going to stick Western? Is Toledo going to be on the board for a football-only addition to the Mountain West? Well, that depends, one, on the new deal the MAC gets, because they're going to wait. And two, what the Mountain West gets, primarily. Because the Mountain West deal for football only is they're talking 70 to 80%. I think it's 80% for Northern Illinois. Toledo would demand the same thing, so they're getting $4 million a year. It's $3.2 million. They're getting, what, $900,000 in the MAC for all sports? Does that offset travel costs? That's the other thing. So, I mean, it kind of cracked me up, but the fact that it's closer to fly into Fort Worth and to drive to Stevensville than it is to get the flight Honolulu to Denver to Fargo, to North Dakota State. It's closer than going to Missoula from Montana. That's crazy. But could they have an impact on this? I mean, could they be a stick in the mud on this and not want to do certain things? And like, if you want to do it and you want our vote, we're going to need some reimbursement on the travel expenses for the Olympic sports. Football, we know it's part of the package. But basketball-wise, it's like Sam Houston, Huntsville, Texas, 4,017 miles. There is a lot of schools that are in that 4,000 mile range and just over it. So could this factor in? I think what's more likely going to factor in is, would Hawaii raise a stink about somebody if it's too far in travel? Yes. Would the conference possibly have to reimburse them for travel expenses? Yeah, I could see that happening. Where they would say, okay, you know what? We're going to cut you a check for doing this extra stuff because we need the conference to grow. So I'm kind of expecting that. What we're going to see about it. But like I thought this was kind of interesting. The fact that it was, fly Hawaii, actually Hawaii's like way the hell down here, off the screen to Vegas, then fly all the way to Fort Worth, or about here, and then take the bus down to Stevensville, is shorter than flying from Honolulu to Denver to Missoula. Not counting the bus ride into the school. Crazy. But I think that travel is going to have a bit of a say in this, mainly because the fact I think it's going to be financial issues. Hawaii is going to make that on there, and who's going to want to come in. Mountain West has cooled. Like I said, all expansion talk has pretty much cooled for both conferences until the season's over. And it's going to cool until the media deal gets put through. We're going to see how the media deals go for both conferences. I expect those to be done before the end of the season. As to when exactly, I don't know. But this could be interesting here. First off, before anybody asks, do I think see a Memphis or a Tulane coming to the Mountain West? Absolutely not. I mean, they're making more money in America. Why would they even think of doing this? That's absolutely crazy. But I do believe the Mountain West wants to get another school in the Central. North Dakota State would fit that bill. Tarleton State would fit that bill. The other possibility is would Tarleton State move up quickly to Conference USA, and then in 2031, when the New Deal happens, they grab them from Conference USA, so that way it's less of a buyout. I don't know. We'll see on this. Because, I mean, realistically, expansion-wise, Montana's are on there, but financially they don't make any sense. North Dakota State's a brand, but the football only, that would work. Tarleton, A lot of work's going to be done. They got a lot of money thrown at, but there's a lot more infrastructure. They seem like a Conference USA school to me to help them out, and then they move forward from there. Do I see Sam Houston State doing anything? I don't see Sam Houston State doing anything until the 2030s. They want to get their facilities up to where they need to be. But we're going to see. So I thought it was a little bit interesting here. Why don't you let me know what you think about this little idea in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't already, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, has been able to see more people comment on the video. Okay. I think, like I said, there's Mountain West can expand. Yes, of course they are. But I think it's going, and is every university, every member institution going to be consulted? Absolutely. Does Hawaii have more power than anybody else? No, but they can raise a royal stink about it. Would it be done to get everybody a unanimous vote to get everything done and to not get anybody mad because they're a full member, to possibly reimburse Hawaii for extra travel costs if it deems that? Because in the circle of less than Laramie is not much. There's not much that's in at a shorter distance than Laramie. There's not much other than New Mexico State, or to go after a Portland State who looks absolutely horrific this year, or to look at any of the California schools. You already got UC Davis. We'll see how it goes. Maybe you let me know what you think about all this down in the comments. Share the video if you want to and haven't done it. Check out some of the other videos that I've done. If you like it, hey, subscribe to the channel. On the road to 2K, trying to make some magic happen. You want to follow me on X, the link will be in the description. I'm working on a couple other things right now, timetable-wise, to get all this data in. We'll see how it goes. We're going to have another story time for week 4. Doing a couple of big games coming up on the schedule here. They're going to affect things. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope everybody's having a great day. Be safe and please be good to each other.